production. But people
Yeah,
are
BKO.
now simply accessing foreign exchange just for the purpose of trading. This is the level to which our economy
Has
has
degenerated.
sunk
Yeah,
because
BKO.
Emefiele just didn't do the right things.
But some Nigerians are of the opinion that Godwin Emefiele's Naira redesign policy was a noble one that was implemented to curb vote buying in the last general election. Well, others who disagree said it was a selfish policy. What are the issues for you on this?
You cannot curb vote buying through the silly Naira redesign that they came up with. Instead, they make Nigerians poorer. We faced a situation in which people could not feed. We faced a situation in which people could not send their children to school. They didn't even have the currency to send their children to school. Emefiele didn't print enough. Emefiele printed about 500 billion, whereas he mopped up close to 3.5 trillion um, from circulation. So, what were you trying to achieve? If you printed just 500 billion naira and we had in circulation about 3.5 trillion, definitely you have created serious scarcity. And people exploited that. Some people were selling the naira. The poor people who needed money to eat, they didn't have access to the money. So dealing with the issue of vote buying is not something that you can do by simply taking the decision to change your currency. I gave the example of what happened in India. India also tried this kind of thing. It almost crashed the economy in 2016. India tried it. We don't even know how to copy the rest of the world because we like copying the wrong things from them. India tried the same thing. It didn't work. Small businesses, barbers, barbering salons, and the rest of them, they were the ones that suffered. Businesses that required uh, spending notes, naira notes, they were the ones that suffered exceedingly during that period. And we saw banks being burnt. Emefiele lied against his colleagues in the banks. He claimed that they were supplied money. Today, we have both currencies operating side by side, and you will see that we have far more of the old currencies than the new one. That is to tell you that they were just lying. They didn't print enough. I kept saying it at that time that they didn't print enough. If you want to, we need a total reorientation to address the matter of vote buying. You can't address it simply with Naira design. Maybe another election will come. People will hoard money and still use the money that they have to contest election. And even at that time, some banks were selling currencies to politicians. Some politicians had new notes that they gave to people. So what even gave them the impression that politicians did not have access to those new notes? Many politicians had access to the new notes, and they used the new notes during the election. It is you and I, and the poorest of the poor in our country, who suffered as a result of that irresponsible policy to recolor the naira that Emefiele and others came up with. So the naira redesign destroyed the economy. In fact, it set us back tremendously because we didn't have enough banks where people can even go and keep this money. And he kept saying there was no going back. He kept saying there was no going back. Look at what the president did to him in the end. When
Right.
some people filed for contempt of court before the Supreme Court, the presidency came out to say no. The CBN governor, nobody forced the CBN governor not to obey the Supreme Court. It was very irresponsible of Emefiele to refuse to obey the Supreme Court of our country just because some politicians and some selfish individuals were edging him on. Okay, now, where are those people now? He's facing his traverse now. Where are the people who are pushing him literally to Golgotha, telling him that, look, you can do what you like, nothing will happen to you. Where are those people now? They are not around to save him.
Yeah.
By the time he's put on trial, those people will not be available to even assist him in any way. So Emefiele compromised even the ethics of his profession. He lied to his countrymen. He betrayed his countrymen. He caused Nigerians to die needlessly over the Naira redesign policy that he came up with. Maybe it was designed to stop an individual or to stop some individuals. But at the end of the day, you and I know that these big politicians, they have friends in the banks. They will
Yeah.
be able to lay their hands on the money that they need to do the election. It is very stupid, very silly for anybody to think that Nigerian politicians will not be able to find
Circumvent
money
any policy.
to run their elections with. I mean, Senator Ali Ndume said, look, it is the poor people that are suffering. If I need so amount of money, I know who to call. They will bring it to me.
Bring it to him.
So it was a shitty, thoroughly shitty policy that they shouldn't have even come up with in the first place, because they made Nigerians to suffer. Why
Yeah.
are Nigerians happy today on social media? Because of the sufferings that they went through as a result of the Naira redesign policy.
Yeah,
They were not bothered about the politicians. It wasn't the politicians that suffered. It was the ordinary Nigerians that suffered as a result of a policy that was not well thought out. A
Right,
policy that looks like something that they came up with after staggering out of a giddy palace.
Yeah.